Hey y'all, we're back with Action Potential, continuing the conversation on gaze stability. Before this, we talked about just our simplistic gaze stability using the Cartesian cross, just with that center dot, right? We're starting to go, okay, we're getting that horizontal movement, those no-nos, that vertical movement, those yes-yeses, and just working on, can my eyes get locked on a target with head motion in this neutral plane, right? With that dot, eye level, arms distance apart. But now we're going to start to progress it, right? Because realistically, in your day, it's not all the time, right? Most of the time, but not all the time, we are locking our eyes on a target that is directly at eye level in front of us, right? Most of the time, we're looking at something that's a little bit out of plane, right? Whether it's a little high, a little low, a little right, a little left, whatever, right? So we're going to use the cross now as our kind of working method to start to get our eyes stable, slightly off plane. So, just like before, we want that center dot, arms distance away at eye level. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first start off with my no-nos and yes-yeses in that center field. Now, if we think back to the first video, right, talking about just getting this set up in general, you're still gonna use the same thought process on fatigue points, right, where whatever rep that I fail on at the very beginning, I want to go 60% of that, and just know that number can change, right? As just like if I'm doing bicep curls, right, I may be able to do 15 reps on the first set, but then on the last set, those 15 reps are really hard, right? And again, with neurological rehab, we want all of our reps to be pretty, so maybe I fail on rep 8, right? That's totally fine. Listen to your body, listen to the kind of signs and symptoms, those dry eyes, those fatigued eyes, increased blink rate, eyes kind of jumping all over the place. But keeping all of that in mind, this is kind of the pattern that we're gonna follow. So first start up with some warm up just on the center dot. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to think of going clockwise with these farthest dots, okay? So what I'm gonna do is head nice and neutral. My eyes alone are going to jump up to my top dot. I'm gonna do my no-nos and yes-yeses. After I jump from the center dot to the top dot and do my reps, I'm gonna close my eyes, relax, take a couple of deep breaths, open my eyes. I can either keep my eyes fixated on the top target or come down to the center one. It doesn't necessarily matter. Definitely work with your practitioner to figure out which one is specifically best for you. But if we're going off of just this as a guiding principle, we can have those eyes reset to the middle. So I reset to the middle, open my eyes back up. I then jump my eyes clockwise to the farthest dot on the right, do my nose, my yes-yeses, close, relax, breathe, open my eyes, find that middle dot, jump my eyes down, no, yes-yeses, relax, reset, jump to the outside. So we've done one full rotation clockwise. I can relax, breathe. If I have any other rehab at that point, whether that's talking about those big complex movements, counter phase dynamic movements, maybe we're even doing some resistance training, starting to get that nervous system, that whole body awake and alive. Then I come back in, and I'm gonna do the same thing in the opposite direction. So from center point, jump up, do my thing, center point out, center point down, center point right. Going through these circular motions, right? When my head is in neutral and I jump my eyes to either up, down, left, or right, as my eyes are off plane, the muscles actually operating my eyes are in a different length tension relationship, and that makes, just like if I'm doing a bench press with my hands close in, neutral grip, or far out, right? It's getting a different input into those systems. The inner ear is still having to come into play, the neck is still having to come into play. But we're starting to get a little more dynamic, a little more functional, a little more real life with this gaze stability. And so what we can do with that, same idea with the original principle, right? We want to make sure that our reps and sets are very pretty, right? Practice doesn't make perfect, perfect practice makes perfect. So always listening to our body and stopping well before our true fatigue point when we start failing those reps. So go ahead and play around with that. Let us know in the comments how they're working for you, if you're liking them, if you're not liking them, if there are certain things that don't necessarily make sense. Let us know in the comments, and that way we can either make another video to let you guys know, or we can actually reach out to you in private and figure out what we can't do for you.